to share with you this family recipe. I hope you're gonna love it as much as I do. Of course, my mom is the queen of this dinner, but I'm gonna attempt to make it almost as good as hers tonight. So we're gonna be making lamb kavurma with pine nut blackcurrant rice. It's gonna be delicious. This is what we have for a dinner usually with the family. So let's walk through the ingredients. So here I have some lamb cubes, and then for the lamb I'm gonna be using very simple flavorings: olive oil, sea salt, pepper, the typical, and then I'm gonna use some oregano and some chili flakes. That's it. It's super simple. Then I have some rice here. I'm using Basmati rice, just 1 cup of that. And then I'm gonna use some blackcurrant, some pine nuts, and then I have some bone broth here, which is gonna give our rice some really nice dynamic flavor. So with that, let's get kavurmaing. Guys, I'm gonna start everything with the lamb because this is the part that's gonna take the longest. Lamb kavurma is essentially you fry the meat in a very low temperature over kind of a 45-minute, 1-hour period, and it becomes really nice crispy outside but really nice tender inside. So I have my lamb cubes here. They're already really nicely cubed, but they're still a little bit big for my taste, so I'm gonna chop them smaller, and I'll show you what those pieces are gonna look like. So like this, okay? So I'm just gonna cube them up and meet you back here. Lamb, you don't want it extra lean because it's gonna be dry. So make sure you have a bit of fat in there to give it the nice flavor that this Eid meal absolutely deserves. Guys, the first thing I'm gonna do is I wanna show you my chunks of lamb. It looks delicious. Now the first thing, and this is something I absolutely learned from my mom, is I'm gonna put this in this Teflon pan, turn the heat to high, and I wanna sweat the meat until it kind of lets go of its dirty and foamy juices, because I don't want that to influence my dish. This is absolutely a mama trick and it works, I promise you. So I'm just gonna give this a nice wash, and then I'm gonna put it on high heat and get the meat sweaty. Guys, I also got some lamb bones, and this is not for me, it's for Bruno. It's his Eid after all. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be using for the kavurma. So kavurma needs a nice pan because you want the heat to be equally distributed in the pan. So I'm gonna use this cast iron pan. I love these pans. And I'm gonna add the oil after. So it's gonna cook a little bit, and then we will add the spices and the oil, etc. So there's a science to this, trust me. As I wait for the meat, I'm gonna go ahead and measure 1.5 cups of bone broth, and I'm gonna get it on the stove to heat up. I'm using Basmati rice, so I'm gonna use 1.5 cup measure for the broth. If it's not enough, I will add later, but I don't wanna add too much, and then it's gonna be like a soggy mess. Guys, I just wanna show you. So that's what my mom is talking about. That bubbly water, I'm gonna drain that now. So I drained out the lamb, and now I'm gonna add it to my cast iron pan. So what's gonna happen now is we will wait for the lamb to give more water, and then it's going to collect the water back, and that will be the time to add the olive oil. Not now. Guys, without exception, every Eid, every Bayram, my mom would ask me, what do you want for dinner? And my answer would be lamb kavurma. This is the best ever. Guys, I turned the heat down to a medium because remember, this is gonna cook slowly on low temp. This is what makes this kavurma so tasty. Guys, at the same time, I'm gonna start the rice. So first, I wanna go ahead and get some olive oil in the pan. It's a pretty large pan actually for the rice I'm doing. So I'm gonna let this heat. So once the oil is warm for the rice, I'm gonna go ahead and add my pine nuts and my black currants. So I want them nice and toasty. In the meantime, I'm gonna drain the rice. The rice has been soaking for about a couple of hours. The reason you do that is the rice will be more tender. I don't cook rice very much, so let's see if I can actually do my mom's recipe. Let's go ahead and add our pine nuts. So I'm gonna add a handful. It's still gonna be a pretty simple rice, but with more flavor. So I'm gonna add the black currants now. So I'm gonna give the nuts and the black currants a little twisty turn so they're all coated with that olive oil. Remember, this burns easy, so watch out. So the water has totally evaporated from the lamb, and this is the time to go ahead and add some good olive oil. Now don't be scared, add the oil in there. Some salt. Little pepper. And then some oregano. And some chili flakes, of course. I'm gonna give it a stir, and then I'm going to turn the heat to low and close this guy off. So, low heat. Let's get our lid on. So this is at low heat. Now I'm gonna drain my rice. The rice is all drained. And remember the bone broth that I set aside. This one, I'm gonna go ahead and heat it up. The nuts and the black currants are nicely toasting. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rice now. So what I've always learned from my mom is she always toasts the rice before she adds the warm broth. So that's what I'm doing. My mom is the best cook in the world. I think all moms are, right? Bruno has already left the building. He got his bone and he was like, see you, Mom. The bone broth is ready to go. It's warm. I got a lid so I can see through the rice what's happening. I'm going to pour the broth and then I'm going to stir it and close it. Low heat. So turn the heat low. Now, too bad you can't see it, but I'm gonna now add my broth to the rice. Absolutely beautiful. Lid goes on. So the rice is on low heat and the lamb kavurma is on low heat, although it's sizzling up. So I'm just gonna check what's going on. Guys, it's critical when you're cooking the rice, don't open the lid, okay? That's why I'm using a glass lid so I can see what's going on without interrupting the rice process. It smells like heaven in here. I love the smell of oregano with that lamb. My rice is cooking. I can't be happier. Guys, so the way that my mom dishes up this is fantastic. So first she will put some lamb kavurma and then she's gonna fill it with the rice and then she will flip it and then voila! Isn't it genius? That's exactly what I'm gonna do because today is all about nostalgic Eid celebration, right? That's what we do, people in my family. Guys, this pan is super heavy, but I'm just gonna try to show you. Look at this lamb. Yeah, it's getting nice and crispy on all sides. So I'm just giving it a bit of a mix here. There's enough oil, there's peppers, there is oregano. So essentially what's gonna happen to the lamb is the flavors will concentrate. And that's why it's so succulent and delicious. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I'm waiting for my awesome Eid dinner to come together. I just wanna raise a glass to all of you out there. I wish everybody a happy Eid. I wish everybody health. Above everything, health is what matters the most. So let's take care of ourselves, but not only that, let's take care of each other also going forward. So, happy Eid everyone. Cheers. delicious. I just want to show you the rice. It looks done. I'm gonna fluff it up, but before I want to show you. Check out this beauty! It's gorgeous! Let's fluff this guy now. Now I'm gonna taste it. It is perfectly cooked. Now at this point, what I'm gonna do is turn off the heat. And usually what we do is we put a kitchen towel and then we kind of let it brew. It's called brewing the rice. So it actually soaks up the residual water and it's gonna become nice and fluffy. So we take a clean kitchen towel and I'm going to put it like this. And we set it aside to brew. Now I'm gonna check quickly on the kavurma. Wow, the meat is browning up. Gorgeous. Low and slow, we are getting there. Ooh. I just want to say, I know this aid is probably not what we expected, but at the end of the day, honestly, it's better to be healthy and safe so we can have many more aids together as families. Woo. Guys, the lamb kavurma is done. I just want to show you how gorgeous this meat looks. It's super crispy outside and tender inside. So now it's time to assemble our plate. Let's try to make this a working platform. So I'm going to bring my rice here. First thing we're doing is the bottom. Let's put our gorgeous beef. And I want lots of beef. Perfect. Awesome. Now let's unreveal our beautiful rice. Now let's unreveal our rice. Oh, it's so nice and fluffy. So now I'm gonna pile on the rice. We want to pack it lightly. So let's flatten the edges. Perfect, maybe a little bit more. It's just so appetizing to look at and to eat for sure. So now the trick is you put the plate like this and then we go. Woo! So we turned. Now I'm gonna let it a second there. Are you ready for the magic? Woo! I moved it so it's a little bit crooked, but it looks gorgeous. Now the finishing touches is gonna be a little bit more chili flakes. Guys, you know I love a little green, so I'm gonna put a little gorgeous parsley in the middle. And there you have it. This is my Eid special lamb kavurma served with rice with black currants and pine nuts. Bon appetit! Guys, it's the best part. Let's go ahead and try the food. So I want a taste of everything. The rice is gorgeous, perfectly cooked. It has the meat on top. Amazing. The meat is so delicious, it's so tender. The rice is perfectly cooked. Thanks for watching. Stay home, stay safe, and catch you next time. Happy Eid everyone, from my family to yours.